More threats demand more protection. That's why Norton and LifeLock are now part of one company. Norton 360 with LifeLock provides all-in-one membership for your cyber safety that gives you device security, identity theft protection, a VPN for online privacy, and more. No one can prevent all cybercrime and identity theft, but Norton 360 with LifeLock is your ally in today's connected world. After all, your info isn't going to stop bouncing around anytime soon. Sign up today for Norton 360 with LifeLock and save 25% or more off your first year by going to norton.com/join. That's norton.com/join to save 25%.
At Florida Cancer Specialists, we are setting a national benchmark for community oncology, especially when it comes to clinical research. Whether you're a full-time or part-time Florida resident, you'll find the most advanced treatments at nearly 100 locations across the state, including Altamont Springs, Inverness, Palm Coast, Zephyr Hills, and Gainesville. Florida Cancer Specialists. Online at flcancer.com.
This is Sirius XM Radio. Sirius XM Radio.
Fox's alert, Republican Senator Richard Burr is stepping aside temporarily as chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee amid an investigation into his stock sales during the initial coronavirus outbreak. Burr just moments ago told reporters he has become a distraction and thought that by stepping aside that was the best thing to do. Cameras catching up with him there just a few minutes ago, so you see it. Also, this comes as a law enforcement source is telling Fox federal agents confiscated Burr's cell phone during a search of his home last night. We can also confirm that Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein was questioned by the FBI about her husband's stock transactions during that same time period. We are following those stories.
I've never seen anything like what Judge Sullivan is doing. If you're going to pick someone to look into it, don't pick someone who's already made up his mind that Bill Barr made a mistake. I mean, you talk about bias, you talk about prejudice. The person he's picked has already expressed an opinion on the outcome of this case. And never in 20 years have I seen a judge do something like this.
I'll get into what Trey Gowdy is talking about right there. New reaction to a federal judge's decision in the Michael Flynn case to appoint an outsider to present arguments against dismissing charges. It's former federal judge John Gleeson, who also would consider whether the former Trump advisor committed perjury. Gleeson has been openly critical of the Trump administration's handling of the case, and just this week wrote an op-ed saying there has been nothing regular about the department's effort to dismiss the Flynn case. The record reeks of improper political influence. Andy McCarthy, a former assistant U.S. attorney and Fox News contributor, joins me now. First of all, talk to me about how that can come into play. I know he's private now. He was formally appointed, I believe, under the Clinton administration as a federal judge. Now he's practicing privately. Why bring in this outsider? How does this all play?
Well, what's going on here, Harris, is Judge Sullivan doesn't like that the Justice Department is dismissing the case against General Flynn. He doesn't like the fact that he doesn't have any authority to do anything about that. So he's basically brainstorming to try to come up with some reason that he, the judge in the case, can take over the role of the only constitutional actor that has any authority over whether a prosecution gets started or sustained, and that's the Justice Department. So I think what eventually happens here is the department is simply going to have to go to the Court of Appeals and get them to tell Judge Sullivan to knock it off, which I think they probably did pretty quickly.
You think it would be? Because what it's doing effectively now is delaying things and keeping it, giving it oxygen, keeping it in the headlines. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler has called on the Attorney General to testify in person next month when the nation's capital reopens. Let's watch that, and then I want to get your reaction, Andy.
He hasn't agreed to it yet, but we will do what we have to do. Whether that's a subpoena or whether that's deciding the Department of Justice doesn't really need all the appropriations it's getting, or the Office of the Attorney General doesn't need its appropriations. We cannot have a situation where the Attorney General just thumbs his nose and the administration holds Congress in contempt.
Well, that's another way of looking at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for them to cut the Justice Department's budget. They love the Justice Department's budget. So that is not going to happen. You know, look, I think if they want the Attorney General and they can satisfy the Justice Department that this isn't going to be, a partisan circus, it's going to be ordinary oversight, then they'll probably get the Attorney General and they'll probably get more than they can handle. But they have to start exhibiting that they want to be the House of Representatives that represents the American people and does straightforward, honest, as honest as you get in Washington oversight. But if they continue to politicize that committee, then they're obviously going to continue to get resistance from the executive branch.
Real quickly, Saul Weisenberg, former deputy